All right, welcome to the Hoosier Postgame Show with Charlie Miller. Right now, we got Joe Heyman on. This was a great needed win. I think it came down to second half effort. I thought they played better to that every play matter, every possession matter mantra we talked about, and we did a better job of making shots as well. So I think Jalen Hudson had a great game. I think he finished up with, if I'm not mistaken, he had 19 points. We had a lot of. We have to get better shooting free throws. I'm hoping that's something they do tomorrow if they have a walkthrough. Because as you talked about, it's already 10:30 my time, 11:30 your time.
Right.
So
they're in Chicago, so it's 10:30 their time in Chicago.
Yeah.
And they got to play at 2:30 tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they're not getting back to the hotel probably till midnight at the best.
Exactly. Right. Got to get rest. Got to get up. Got to eat. Probably get right to the gym. So, and probably little preparation, if that, on Penn State. I mean, however they're going to game plan for that, I'm going to certainly have something in mind with all the technology we have today, as far as making sure that you know who you're going to play and you game plan for success. I call my GPS game plan for success. So, what do you think? I mean, I know you talked about, what is it, in a sense, saying this loosely, is this something that we win for pride, right? To go after, winning the Big Ten tournament, knowing next week you're going to be on the road. You got to think about that wear and tear, the management of, I won't call it load management. What are your thoughts right now?
You never want to go into a game saying, hey, let's just lose the game and be done with it. But, we go back to are these conference tournaments for teams like Indiana who know that they're in the tournament? You're probably not going to change your seeding much. You're really slotted where you're at. Does playing 3 games in 3 days really help prepare you for the NCAA tournament?
Right.
I don't know. These things are great for the fans. Everybody gets to go. You get the feeling of playing in a neutral site. But the best preparation would be to maybe, play tomorrow and be done. But let's go win. I mean, you got to go and play. And tonight, Indiana came out guns blazing early on. I mean, the first 4 or 5 minutes is like, wow, here we go. Then they got into that lull that they've been getting into. And it's like, well, do they really want to be here?
Correct.
Something was said at halftime or something, either the coaches or the players got, because they came out in the second half and really played well defensively.
Correct.
They were more efficient offensively. They played with more purpose, and they just had better basketball sense, as we talked about in the game. And then Hitchafino made some shots, and Trace Jackson was good. Indiana still needs to find a third scorer. I mean, Kopp made some shots tonight, but he was aggressive early on. But they always have those stretch, right? They have that 5-6 minute stretch.
5-6 minute stretch, and it's so funny.
If they can eliminate that, they could be really hard, because they've got some matchup problems for teams, especially teams that have never played them.
Correct.
And all of a sudden you're gonna go play against a Trace Jackson Davis who's got great feet, big guy, can dribble the ball, and he's going to get around most big guys.
Right.
And then Hitchafino's very good at that mid-range games that people aren't used to playing against.
Yeah, you said it. We need a third scorer. I mean, you need somebody, especially in postseason play. We need a third scorer that can step up and take off that pressure. Right.
Consistently, we need a consistent third guy.
Yeah, a consistent third guy, man. That's so.
And Miller Kopp can be that guy.
Yeah,
Kopp needs to hunt a few shots down.
Yeah.
And tonight he did. Tonight, how many shots did he take tonight? Tonight he took. He only took 5, but early on, I mean, he never forces anything, which is good. But I wish he'd force 1 or 2 early,
right?
Because he's a good enough shooter.
He's good enough. He's a good enough shooter for that.
I mean, Indiana won this game defensively. They played great in the second half.
Right.
And now let's move on. And I don't know how much is going to be talked about this game. It's time to move on. Let's go. And you know what? And if you lose tomorrow, all right, who cares? Nobody's going to talk about that either, because we're going to go play Thursday or Friday.
Exactly. That's right on. So let's listen to some of these comments over here, see if anybody's saying anything. So we got Lucas Wilder saying, I like to see a good rotation of players tomorrow, see what happens. If we lose, no biggie. get some PT, exactly, for real tournament prep. But you want to go in with Joe Hammer's mindset. We want to win, plan to win. So whatever happens, happens. We get ready for Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, maybe a guy like Geronimo gets some more minutes tomorrow, or Caleb Banks, and get them in there and get them comfortable, because if you get into the NCAA tournament and some guys get in foul trouble, these guys might have to step up and play a little bit. And again, I like what Lucas says. If you lose, no big deal. Okay, fine. But you don't want to go into that thinking that way. It's really hard. This thing Pete mentions, it's setting up for IU versus Purdue. Yeah, probably so, because of what's happened with the seedings and Ohio State winning and Penn State winning. But Penn State's pretty darn good. Penn State creates issues for Indiana because they got 4 scorers.
Right.
They got 4 guys that can make threes, and they got a couple guys that can break down. They'll isolate on us tomorrow, and they'll slow the game down a little bit. And now it's going to be a matter of, can Penn State slow down Davis?
Right.
Because Penn State, when we played them at home, they made every shot you could possibly make. So, and Penn State's kind of on a roll right now, but I literally believe Penn State's going to hear all the people telling them tonight, you're in. That was a big win against Northwestern. You guys are in. You're in. And so they're going to relax.
That's the first thing I heard when I turned on my TV.
Penn State's in, right?
Yeah, Penn State's in. So you
and off first in or last 4 in type of deal.
Yeah.
So I mean, the game tomorrow isn't that important to me. I thought tonight was important for them to come out and play well, because they really did not play well the last 2 home games, coming off that big win at Purdue, and they needed to reestablish themselves. And again, Indiana just has to get rid of those 5-6 minutes deals. And we got some decent, Renew played good tonight. Malik played good. He was active, scored, rebounded the ball very well. But he's young. He's got to learn how to play, and that comes with just more minutes. We need Race Thompson to play better.
Yeah. Race
foul trouble. Didn't play a real smart game tonight. And he's better than that.
Yeah.
So.
You see, Michael J. Music says we have to guard the 3-point line hard tomorrow against Penn State. But a lot of times, I mean, also share with your thoughts on this. I thought the threes that Maryland made early, where we were lost on help. It wasn't like they were making tough threes towards the end of the first half going to the second half. They made tough threes. 3-point shot in the shot clock. The left corner player makes the shot. I mean, okay, you make that. That was a tough 3.
You shoot that every time.
Yes. The tough threes that we're talking about, Michael, for me, you're not going to stop everybody. These are college players, D1 players. You got to contest them. You got to make them shoot tough threes. What does that mean? Contest. Short closeouts. Don't just throw your body up. Make it tough.
I mean, first half, Maryland they made 6 threes, but 4 of them were wide open, where nobody was 10 feet of
lost. Exactly.
Guys just got lost because they weren't paying attention to what was going on.
Yeah.
Second half, IU defended that 3-point line, and they got after Maryland. It was a different effort in the second half for sure tonight. And tomorrow, he's right. They have to guard against the 3-point line, because where Penn State does a great job is they've got Lundy can make threes, that Funk can make threes, and then Pickett's is a nightmare matchup, because big body, dribbles, gets to wherever he wants, but he's not looking to score. He's looking to hit guys open, and you got it. Tomorrow's game is going to come down to where are we defensively, not watching the ball and just standing and staring at the ball.
Yeah, and that's Pete. I think it was Michael again. Last time we played Penn State, really got lost over helping, and that's kind of the case. You play against a 3-point shooting team, you want short closeouts. You can't start scrambling because they know how to swing the basketball. We talked about the 5 great traits of every great offense is spacing, ball movement for ball reversals, and Penn State does a great job of doing those things. And they got guys that are hard to guard.
Well, they're tough matchups. There's no doubt
Tough,
about that.
tough matchup. So
The only, like I said, I go back to Penn State's been on a roll here the last 5 or 6 games. They played a lot of emotional, tight games. They beat Northwestern at Northwestern in overtime. I watched a little bit of that game. They came from behind and won a game at home. I think it was against Illinois. And every one of these games has been them. We got to win this. We got to win this to get in. We got to win this to get in. We'll see how they show it tomorrow. My guess is there could be a big let up with Penn State tomorrow.
yes, it looks like we got a good friend of the show. Right now, we can't hear you.
Is Jim? You got a bad mic.
Jim, what's up, Mike? Jim, what's up with your mic, brother?
Yeah, huh? It's not good.
Oh, he said keep talking. I got you.
Oh, yeah. So it's again, tonight was that a situation. They got a little groove, and now, all right, whatever happens. It's only gravy from here. I'd love to see us get a chance. We win tomorrow, then let's go beat Purdue again for the third time. Would be great.
Yeah.
But if not, you know what? Let's go get ready to play Thursday, Friday, and get in a position where we get a chance to play that first weekend against 2 teams that we probably should beat.
Correct.
And that's the way that we always did the tournament was like, hey, look, we're gonna go play 80 minutes this weekend. We gotta go play 2 games, 80 minutes, and let's go. And we kind of made them. We talked about during the game. We played little segments of four minutes, whatever. We got to the tournament. We played segments on weekends. We got 3 weekends to play. We got to win the first weekend. Then we got to win the second weekend. And that's and you break things down. And the teams that don't get overwhelmed and awed about the situation and what's going on. But again, some of that comes back to, are you used to going? Are you used to being there? Is it a habit? And for Indiana, it's kind of new again. I mean, and that's where the success keeps breeding success.
Right. Jim, you there?
Well, it's funny you say that because I just walked into the post-game presser for a second, and the thing I heard Mike Woodson say was, "It's good to be back." So even though they made the tournament last year, they had to kind of crawl in backwards. They're not doing that this year by any.
Here's what I'm going to say about that, though, Jim. And everybody will bash me. Every IU fan will bash me.
Well, I don't mean the program's back, and I get you. And I understand.
Because we were 12-8 in the Big Ten. And it wasn't like we were some world beater.
No.
I mean, we're getting there, but we're not to the point yet where we're like, okay. We didn't really compete for the Big Ten this year. I mean, we didn't. We were 1-5.
Oh,
this
is definitely not the 88 through 90s or whatever.
I'm just talking about we never really had a chance to win the Big Ten this year.
Well, they gave it away. They gave it away.
We were done when we went 1-5. We were done. And so we go 12-8 in the league, and everybody's jumping up and down. I personally don't like that. We're better than that.
See, that's what I love. I love that. I love what are we here for?
We're taking steps.
Yeah.
Hey, it's like if you're not playing for a championship? What is it, Moneyball? Then what are we doing? What are we doing?
There you go.
Well, exactly. I said that to somebody today.
This is the nice thing. We are playing for a championship here in the Big Ten tournament.
That's right.
But again, I just don't like the format.
Where
you're playing all these games back to back to back to back. I think it's just tough.
What would you do different, Joe, to change? Because someone brought that up today. How could you change it? What would you do differently? How could you alter it so it's not as bearing?
Well, the problem is you're never gonna have guys. I mean, the whole thing should start on Tuesday potentially, because guys, end the season. There should be no game ending on Sunday the last weekend. Okay, and they do that for play every game Saturday. Everybody starts Tuesday. You play Tuesday. You play Wednesday. You play, whatever. Have a day off. End the thing on. You got to end this deal on Saturday. It's just if you're a team like Penn State, for example. Penn State played last night, plays tonight, plays tomorrow, eventually plays Sunday. Now they got to make a long trip back to Penn State. Going to do nothing on Monday, and they may have to leave on Wednesday. You cannot tell me that's good preparation for the NCAA tournament game on Thursday.
Right.
No, what if they ended up in the play-in game like Indiana did last year?
Well,
then
there you go. Yeah.
Then you're really screwed where you're
I don't know.
playing on a Tuesday and going to Portland.
I like what Gonzaga and St. Mary's does. Their
Plays
deal
nobody?
is done on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
And but again, it goes back tournament. To I don't know. I don't know what you do with the, now they play 20 games in the league. And so I just don't think what team in the Big Ten really needs the Big Ten tournament.
Oh, there's no question
Ohio
about that.
State.
There's a lot of coaches that probably – oh, you mean this year? Yeah. There's a lot of coaches. Woody would rather not be playing it.
No, I know. But you can't say that.
No, but it's all about money. We all know that. It's nothing but money. It's money for all the leagues.
Jim?
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of Indiana fans in here. And through the course of the day with all the different teams, when I was sitting here looking at the Indiana fans, I'm like going, where the hell are they going to put everybody else?
Yeah.
Because I'm like going, well, they're showing. And I think that will only increase as the day goes by because the importance of the game goes by. And if by chance on Sunday, it is an Indiana-Purdue Big Ten championship, that's going to be a little bonkers, man. This place will be absolutely crazy. I don't know if that would be louder or if it was Indiana against Northwestern. They had a little support in here tonight. But, man, the Northwestern gets knocked off.
Here's my issue if Indiana plays Purdue. Is anybody going to remember who won the Big Ten tournament? Everybody should remember that Purdue won the conference.
Well, I can promise you Indiana will if they do because they've never won it before.
Oh, I know, but again, I mean, who cares if you win
But they won't remember. They won't remember it a week later if they lose.
But here's the problem: if Indiana then goes and loses to Purdue on Sunday, they're going to go, "Oh well, look, we beat you when it really mattered," and blah blah. Exactly. No, we beat your ass twice in the regular season. I mean, it's just kind of a nothing game. That's my feeling. What do you think, Charlie? I just I don't know.
No. I mean, it's and I love the take because again, my senior year was '98. That was the first year they had the Big Ten tournament, Jim. So it was different because I went from not having it to having it.
I'd love to hear and I know that Knight hated it as well. Now he wasn't alone, but what did he say about it? How did he talk about it? How did he prepare about it? What did he had to deal with it, whether he liked it or not. So he had to deal with it. How did he operate around that? Or did he say, we're focusing on the NCAA tournament?
Well, yeah, you're focusing that out. And we weren't really close to winning a Big Ten tournament. So I think it was more of like Joe was saying, let's play to win, but let's also get ready for what's probably going to come up next week. Right? You're going to see next week. Let's get you ready for going to Boise, going to Orlando, Florida, going somewhere to go play to prepare. Right? Whatever we do in this Big Ten tournament is not going to really affect what we're trying to do and get a deep postseason run. So
Jim, we talked about during the game, if Ohio State was to go on and win 2 more games and they get in the tournament, did they really have a season worthy of getting the NCAA tournament?
Right.
No, they did not, and that would be.
They were awful all year. So
I don't know how the hell they won today without Bryce Sensabaugh, but.
Well, yeah, what happened to him?
Back. I just heard it was a back injury, but I don't. I would be shocked if he's not on the court tomorrow. But I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, again, though, and this is the thing that for the big conferences it doesn't really matter. But I like you're the guy that was the manager, May, who's got a team.
Dusty May.
He wins the regular season.
Yeah,
the best team.
Yeah.
And now if he doesn't go play 3 straight games in a row and win that, he's out.
He might not beat the NCAA tournament.
Exactly. Right.
That's the stuff.
That's where the teams like in those leagues get screwed because the one bid leagues. Yeah. They got it. And speaking of Dusty, I don't know if he's going to be at Florida Atlantic next year. He's having a really good year. And I'm not saying that to put the way that. I'm just saying.
I don't want to go to either. I don't want to go to either.
How long have you been there?
5 years. I thought this was his 5th year.
Wow. Good for him.
No.
That's how you move up.
Yeah, he's one of the hottest coaches in NCAA Division I.
Well, there's a bunch of openings.
Yeah, he's
a good guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah,
Kids,
yeah.
I guarantee you, kids love playing for him. They have to.
He's got to make you got to make sure you don't go someplace that's just a death hole that you're going to go there and be there 4 or 5 years and you're not going to do anything. You're going to be fired. I mean, he's go to a place you can get some stuff done.
He's doing extremely well. I saw him yesterday, Jim Coyle. So you know.
Did you really?
They're here in Dallas. So I went to the game and watched them play Western Kentucky, and I told Joe Hillman that I saw Christian Lander on the bench at Western Kentucky. He started, and then after the first, they were 8th seed. I mean, they have a really, really good team. Florida Atlantic is a really good team. They got a culture. They play as one, man. They play defense. They have fun. They whoop it up. So I told them that when they came down to play University of North Texas here in Denton, Texas, which is about 30 minutes away from me. He has coach.
How about Michael Lewis? Michael's having a good year at Ball State.
They lost a tough one.
Well, that was top 3 teams are tough in that conference, man. There's 3 good teams in there.
Yeah, Mike Lewis did a great job.
Yeah.
So it's great to see those guys. And Micah Shrewsbury, by the way, Penn State's coach, went to Ben Davis High School? I think he went to.
Oh, I don't know.
I think he went to Ben Davis High School, but he's actually from Jeffersonville, Indiana, originally down in southern Indiana. So yeah, crazy. But the Big Ten tournament now marches on down to just 4 teams and 2 games tomorrow, which is a lot nicer after these quadruple marathons of the last few days. But great setup you got there, by the way, Joe. Is that your office?
Oh no, it's just down in my basement. My wife made me sit here because I get a lot of heat from Indiana fans when I go down to IU games and I don't have IU garb on. And my daughter finds it on Twitter. Dad, these guys are ripping you. You need to get some Indiana stuff. So I said, you know what? We bought this thing, and I'm going to display it tonight in the basement.
Awesome.
Well, Gritty Jen loves it. She says that we all need one of those, so she likes it a lot.
No, so, it was just so funny. I went down to a game this year, and it was the day it was freezing cold, and I left from work. I was bundled up. I had a sweater on. And I was down. Moye and I were taking pictures, and somebody posted it on the AJ Moye and I took a picture together. Somebody posted on Twitter, and boom, fan after fan after fan. Joe, where's your IU stuff? What? You got to get some IU garb. You got to get this. I was like, hey, tell them to give it to me.
That's right.
Was Moye wearing something?
Trust me, I was more worried that day of staying warm than worried about what I was wearing.
I guarantee it. Well, Indiana fans are very, very protective about their basketball team.
It's funny. I don't know how. I know if I was a coach today, the absolute biggest thing I would be telling these kids, and they would not listen to it one bit, is stay off of social media. Don't listen to it because you're gonna think you're way better than you are.
Don't listen to it. Don't get on it and participate.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're going to think you're way better than you are when everybody's telling you how great you are, and don't listen to these idiots that tell you how bad you are.
That's right.
I mean, it's. I mean, I don't know how they would deal with it.
Well, did Miller Kopp have his blog this year, Jim? I didn't know if he had it.
Oh yeah, he's got that.
Not only did he have it, there was one point there was like snickering back with somebody, but I think
I saw that.
Got a I think they got away with that.
I don't know how you deal with that as a coach.
Yeah.
It's just because after the Purdue game, all they did was go get on social media and hear how great they were.
That's right.
And they just came out and laid a complete egg. I mean,
that's right.
But Miller Kopp was helpful tonight. Did 2 of 4 from behind the arc. Yeah,
he came out early, was aggressive, was looking for shots, looking to make plays. And he is a good enough shooter where he almost needs to force a shot or two up every once in a while.
They need that.
They held Maryland to 25% in the second half.
Yeah. Completely different attitude defensively. First half, we stood around. and then they got after it in the second half.
I think they got ripped at half
Oh,
because
yeah.
they looked a little pissed
yeah.
off. Trace Jackson Davis was playing pissed off. Miller Kopp was playing hard and pissed off.
Yeah.
Well, Hood-Schifino got into guys in the second half and really defended the ball. We kind of stood around. I mean, and before the game, we talked about, Jim, Indiana needs to play well tonight because they really haven't played well the last 2 games at home. So they're probably doubting themselves a little bit, even though they won the Michigan game. So tonight was a good effort, especially that second half. And now I think no matter what happens tomorrow, who cares? We're ready to go next week.
Right.
Indiana could get on a decent run here because of their matchup issues. Because if you're not used to playing against Davis, who's quick, athletic, and great footwork, he's a tough matchup for big guys. And then Hood-Schifino has a mid-range game that nobody plays for.
Right.
Indiana could get on some decent runs. I can tell you this: whoever the number 1 seed is not going to want to see Indiana as a 4.
No, and their defense is what drives it all. I mean, it drives even their offense because when their defense is great, they are great.
Yeah.
We don't get a lot of easy buckets out of transition, though.
Yeah.
No.
We had it in the beginning of the game, but then it went away. We had a lull. Like, we always have these little spells where we just can't.
Got to end that. I mean, we have that every game, except the Purdue game.
Jalen Hood-Schifino again. The thing about him is he has gotten so consistent over these last several games. You know, at the beginning of the year, he was up and down. He would have a 4 for 12 game or a 2 for 12 game, but he was always still doing things. But now, man, he's 8 of 15. He's scoring 19 points tonight, 2 of 4 behind, or 1 of 4 behind the 3-point line. But Indiana was missing free throws in the first half. But
how many free throws? I was gonna say
first half Indiana was only 1 of 4. In the second half, the last time I looked, they were 5 of 6 in the second half.
No, we were 12 for 20 for the game. So
so total goes 12 for 20. But that was a difference, though. In the first half, they weren't getting many free throws and weren't hitting them. When they were, I think Maryland was 6 of 7 at that point. And then by the end of the game, everything equaled out. They were 6 of whatever from the 3-point line. And when Indiana was 1 of 6, but at the end it equaled out.
Indiana only turned the ball over twice in the second half too, which was that's key too. They took care of the ball, and I mean we've got capabilities of beating anybody, but we got to eliminate that 5-8 minute stretch where we just go, what are we doing?
Yep.
I mean, it's just it's hard to watch.
I'll let you guys answer this. I say no because anytime you lose a good player, it's not. But I also think that this team didn't have, they've developed since he got hurt. So you can't. There's no way.
I would love to have Xavier Johnson on the team.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's got an attitude. He's got.
Who's going to beat him to the rim?
He has some fight. Now, did Hood-Schifino get better because he had to do more stuff now? Probably.
Yes.
But Xavier Johnson's the kind of guy you want playing. I'd go to bat because he's a tough kid and he don't like losing.
That's right.
How about this idea for the tournament? I asked you earlier what you do. Earlier in the week, I think I said, take the 4 top teams. You don't have to play. You get off. You're done. You're in the tournament already. You don't have to play in this thing and let the other guys duke that.
I got no problem with that.
I'd like it. I don't think TV would like it. I don't think the Big Ten Network would like it.
The problem is the NCAA tournament selection committee is not going to like it if Ohio State runs the table and you're not playing the 4 best teams. But
and Michigan State, they got this double by win percentage. Win percentage was because they did not play that extra game.
See that?
Had they won the game, had won the game, I guess it would have been the same. But they didn't play it.
That's tough.
But they won that game, they got beat.
Had they won that game,
they got beat.
If they win that game and go 12-8, I use probably a 4 seed. Having to play Purdue tomorrow. But
which
you
would
know,
have
who cares? I
destroyed
mean,
the drama of the Indiana Purdue final.
yeah, I mean, it's again. I mean, you're gonna always now if you can win 3 straight games in a row or whatever, and now you're feeling really good about yourself. But they're emotional games, and now there's going to be a little bit of a mental letdown. I mean, it's just, and that's we talked in the game where Coach Knight was so good was there was never a big win in Indiana. It was okay. Hey, look, this means nothing if we don't go win the next game. And we saw that happen this year. Indiana had a big win at Purdue, and we had a major letdown. And so it's hard. It's hard to not go through where you're playing these emotional games, wanting to win. All of a sudden, oh, you get to go cut the nets down at the Big Ten tournament. If I was the coach of Indiana and we won on Sunday, I'd run off the floor. All right, don't cut the nets down. Let's go. We're going to cut the nets down. We're going to cut the nets down in New Orleans. And you know what?
Like a national champ. Love it. No, that's a national champion.
I mean, I don't know. Is that
No. I mean, I hear you, man. Old school. I love it. I get it. I mean, and that's the thing. You've won. So and you won a national championship. That means nothing because after this time of the season, there's something else that you're trying to go after way deeper than what you just did in your conference 18 times.
yeah. Well, and we always made such a big deal, and Coach did too, a big deal about winning the Big Ten. We never talked about winning national championship, but we always talked about winning the Big Ten, always. And you played the 18 games, and that's and you know, I mean, I get it. This thing's great for the fans. It's a big money deal, but these schools make so much money now on the Big Ten network that they're almost kind of hamstrung by these Big Ten network telling them what they got to do. I mean, it's just a shame. I mean, again, it's probably a great atmosphere. It sounded like the crowd was into it, Jim, and it sounded fun. And that, you know, it's good to have that going into the tournament, but you know, we'll see.
Well, yeah, this program had not experienced this for so long. I mean, last year, they just got a taste of it, but the students have not gotten to experience it. I mean, it's just been all this stuff it's missed, and that was it was like when I was in high school. I knew we were going, you know, through the tournament. When I was at IU, you knew that you were going to be playing in the NCAA tournament. You just didn't know where.
There was never that. It was just that expectation was happening. Were you going to be a 1 or 2 or 4, you know, and sometimes you're a 5 seed or whatnot, but there was never a thought that you weren't going to make the tournament.
And that has been such a far-reaching thing for Indiana, which is unbelievable. But Trace Action David talked about that yesterday when we had the media availability. He said that, you know, last year that was in their head. They weren't in the tournament when they came here. They knew they had to scratch and fight and claw, and so they're folks in there. This year they come here, it's a different mindset. They know they're in the tournament, so they don't have to worry about that.
Well, last year they come back from 17 down and beat Michigan. Then they beat Illinois. Then what happened in the game?
They played Iowa well. Iowa went on and won the tournament, but they played Iowa well. They just didn't get the game. Didn't win.
I think Indiana's going to come out and pound Penn State tomorrow.
That was my next question. Penn State on a lucky run. They upset Northwestern. Didn't get a great night from Chase Adige. He was like 1 of 6 at one point. He had 4 points. I think he ended up with 6, but they sure exerted a lot of energy tonight.
What's Penn State listening to all night tonight? Oh, you're in. You guys are in.
They better not. If they think that, I'll tell them don't do that because year I thought Indiana was in last year after they beat Michigan. I mean, after they beat Illinois, and we would find out on Selection Sunday. Getting on the skin of their teeth.
Well, they came out tonight and said, "Oh yeah, Joe Lunardi's got him on the 10 line. DeCourcy's got him on the 10 line." You know, that's what they're hearing. So but we'll see. Maybe that's.
But if I'm their coach, if I'm Michael Shrewsbury, I'm saying, don't listen to that crap.
No,
I said that don't mean jack.
Right.
I said you
What
better
Joe was
play
saying
like
earlier.
you better play like you're a 17 seed. That's what
Right.
you better play like. You're a 17 seed.
You know that,
and
but 18 to 22-year-olds don't.
Yeah.
They're
Exactly.
on social media. Hey, you guys are in. You're in. You're in. This is great.
You made it. Got the post going.
So
Indiana now, but look, and there's this, Joe, though. But if they do, let's say they get to the championship round here against Purdue and they beat Purdue, which would be a third time that you've beaten that team, which they're going to be a 2 seed at worst. Indiana is looking at helping themselves potentially seed wise. I didn't think they could move to the 3 line.
Maybe they could.
Even if they won this thing. It depends on what happens in front of them too, but it depends on how they play. That's still a possibility.
I did hear a thing the other day though, and I've seen it over and over here lately that the teams are pretty much locked in. The big teams are pretty much locked in, and then they got to do some maneuvering around because you get so many bids from the Big 12 and the Big 10 and things like that. But I mean, I guess if they go on and win and they could get a 3 seed, does that really help you that much? I don't know.
I think it depends on the bracket without having looked at the bracket or who you're going to end up
playing.
All
matchups. You're right.
It is because you go back to 2013 when Indiana lost to Syracuse. They were a better team, but man, they lost that matchup. And that happened because they lost to Michigan in the last damn game of the year to where they could have secured the overall number 1 seed, and then they ended up getting a bad matchup, and the number 1 team knocked out of the tournament. So it'll be interesting to see, but I thought that they were kind of locked in as a 4. They'd have to do something special, I think, to move up.
Well, the game, you know what the game's going to haunt them? That's going to come back to
Iowa, 21-point lead.
You can't lose by 25 at home in the last week of the season. If you think
both Iowa games for that matter.
Well, not even but you can't lose by 25 at home and think you're going to be a 1 or a 2 or a 3 seed. I don't think. I mean that was a
same
team you
had a 21-point lead against.
Loss. So, I mean,
don't shake that off. But
I mean, it'll be interesting to see if we play Purdue again on Sunday, how that would go. I think we're a bad matchup for Purdue.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I think that it kills. Purdue still has freshman guards that they're going to be good. Yeah. They're good players. They're going to be really good. They're not yet because they're still freshmen and they're still going to make freshman mistakes. And the other night, Mason Gillis kind of went off. He's been very sporadic in helping them. And so there's not been a lot of other help for Zach Edey when things go like that. But we'll see, man. It's 3 times. But there's another game tomorrow. That's the great thing, Charlie.
Hey,
another
game tomorrow. That's an amazing thing tomorrow. So I want to give on the show to give you a heads up. I'm traveling tomorrow to Swanee, Tennessee. It's by the college of the South. Small little area, man.
Got some friends. Did you say Sparta, Tennessee?
It's Swanee. It's called Swanee. Yeah,
small. I got some friends in Sparta. Yeah. Joe does not have any friends there. He's from California.
I know that, right?
I mean, he doesn't know anybody there is what I meant to say. Right. I'm sure he has a ton of friends there. Man, guys, I can't thank y'all so much. I hope you all had fun because I know
it's fun tonight.
Yeah, the fans do. They love you guys, and there's no reason not to. 2 guys that played for Bob Knight know the game as well as anybody, and it's just been so fun. Pete is going to a wedding in Swanee, Tennessee in September, so
there you go.
Y'all can swap out restaurants and things like that. Joe, what's up new with you with the financial world?
Well, we just been fighting that battle the last year and a half of the market volatility and all that good stuff, but we're still taking care of our clients and making sure that they're not panicking. And trying to play psychologist, really keeping people off that emotional roller coaster, and keep them invested, keep them doing the right things, and preparing, and just making sure that we're still fighting the fight day in and day out. And if we got a seminar last night talking about preparation and how important it is to get things and get things in place and creating that retirement income. So it all goes back to good preparation over just saving and hoping.
And that there seems to be, there's a line that it just comes back to me from a coach you guys may have had that said something like failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
Yeah, something like that. But he also, his always thing was everybody likes to win, but not everybody likes to prepare to win.
Right.
And he's so right, because Charlie and I talked about tonight. How many times did you roll your eyes? Hey, let's go out and walk through this again. Oh, geez. Okay, here we go. We walked through stuff and watched film. I mean, it was amazing. And that's what takes teams from being good to great. It's a fine line. It's a small margin, but it's a play here, a play there, a mentality of every possession, and it's hard to be good. He used to say that to us all the time. It is hard to be good, but it's a lot more fun to be good than because it's a lot more fun to win.
That's it. That's it, man.
It's definitely that. If any of you all that are listening are in need of some financial advice, the man Joe Hillman right here, man, he take care of you. That's what he does. So reach out to Joe. Where can they find you, Joe?
Well, they can find me at jhillman@twealth.com, and our website's www.twealth.com.
We'll get that repeated out. We used to have the logo up there to find that one too. Of course, every time, brother. Always. And my man Charlie running the Attack Basketball Group. Are you guys off right now?
Spring break is coming up. We have spring break this week.
Oh, so you let you guys off for a week? God, you're soft, Charlie. I thought you'd be off.
I got little. My son, Joe. I got a 6-year-old. He'll be 7 on Sunday. So.
Oh, okay. So you got your own spring break.
Yeah, our spring break. So
okay,
we have So it's so my daughter, who's 10, son is 6. He'll be 7 on Sunday.
Nice.
We're going to meet in-laws and then stay with cousins.
Oh, a lot of fun for them too, though.
Yeah, real fun. Yeah. So we did it 3 Christmases ago. It's in the middle of nowhere. They created their own address. Pitch black at night. The School of the South is in Swanee. That's what Swanee is known for. Temple Mountain, right? So it's pretty cool. You go up there, it's a whole little town.
You're driving to there?
Yeah, we drive. So from Carrollton, where I live in Dallas, we'll stop in Memphis, which is a 7-hour drive.
Oh, okay.
We'll break it up, right?
Get a little
barbecue. Stay over the night in Memphis. A little barbecue in Memphis. Might get a little Elvis in, who knows?
I was gonna say, you gotta go by Graceland. I've never been to Graceland, man.
Great place. I let me tell you guys a funny story. I fell in love with the dude. I was just amazed. What I was amazed at doing the tour.
Wait, you're an Elvis fan?
Yes, I am. I will tell you all.
I'm just guessing, man. I mean, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has an Elvis room in his house.
I came back and got obsessed with all his movies because this guy Joe, this dude was talented. We're talking about
he was the man.
22 movies in like a span of like 3 years. This guy was, this was a talented person, right? And I watched all the old movies. I just came back saying, man, this guy, and then how he partied, how he hung out. I was saying, this guy is amazing.
I did not know Charlie was an Elvis fan, man.
Yeah,
he had some fun.
Yes, man. And one of my favorite songs was it G.I. Blues? It's from G.I. Blues, and it's called Pocket Full of Rainbows.
My man, Charlie.
I'm
Coming up with a surprise, man.
Yeah, man. I'm full of those, Jim. I'm full of those, man. So
I'm telling you, that's a good one. Well, at least that makes the Christmas gift giving easier.
there you go. Yeah.
That's good. Put some man. You ought to get some of those sideburns.
Sideburns,
Maybe
there
wear
you
those.
go.
Love it. Love it.
I love that. Well, guys, I'll let y'all go so you can get to bed because I know I keep forgetting we're on Central Time here at in Chicago for this thing.
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no
you
problem.
guys-
Charlie, have fun, buddy.
Joe, thank you. And I want to so we'd love to have you back on, man, sometime soon. So
We'll just call me. You know, I mean, I don't do anything. I sit around and watch games.
Love it. Love it.
Well, and you got to let me know when you're coming to Bloomington, brother, so we can.
You know what? I only got down there twice this year. It was interesting. They played so many games. They never played on at home on the weekend until the last weekend, and then I didn't want to call down there on Sunday for Senior Day. I know they got millions of tickets and family members and all that. So yeah, I did. They didn't play at home very much during the on the weekends.
We'll get that fixed next year. Get you in there, but
that's fun, Charlie. It's a fun game, Jim. Good seeing you, buddy, and have fun up there tomorrow.
Thank you.
You guys have a great night, and everybody else as well. And next up for Indiana, Penn State, and hopefully we'll see you back for that one. For Joe Hellman, Charlie Miller, I'm Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio.
All right, see you guys.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. In the broadcast.